My mom secretly took my inheritance to fund her lavish wedding, leaving me betrayed and broke. Furious and torn, I confront her, uncovering ridiculous expenses, and now must decide whether to attend the event or cut ties entirely. Hey everyone, my name's Mary, I'm 28 years old. My mom took my inheritance money to fund her fancy new wedding, and I'm still reeling from it. Let me give you some background first. I'm an only child, and my dad passed away about 5 years ago when I was 23. He was the kind of guy who worked hard his whole life, owned a small auto repair shop, nothing flashy, but he was good at it. He saved up a decent chunk of money over the years, and when he got sick, he made sure to set some of it aside for me. It wasn't millions or anything, but it was enough to give me a head start, maybe a down payment on a house or a cushion for emergencies. He told me before he died, "Mary, this is for you to build something stable. Don't let anyone take it from you." I took that to heart. My mom, though. She's a different story. She's always been the type who loves attention, big personality, loud laugh, always needs to be the center of everything. When I was growing up, she'd throw these over-the-top parties for herself, like her 40th birthday where she rented out a whole restaurant and made me wear a dress I hated just so I'd match the vibe. She and my dad balanced each other out. He was quiet, practical, she was all drama and sparkle. After he passed, I thought she'd tone it down a bit, out of respect or grief or something. Nope. She leaned harder into the live your best life thing, which I guess I can't fault her for, but it's caused problems. Fast forward to 2 years ago. Mom started dating this guy, Robert. He's 55, owns a construction company, and honestly, he's fine, kinda gruff, likes to talk about his trucks a lot, but he treats her decently. They met at some singles mixer she dragged herself to after Dad died, and within 6 months, they were inseparable. I was happy for her at first. She'd been a wreck after Dad, and seeing her smile again felt good. But then things started getting weird. Robert proposed last year, and Mom lost her mind planning the wedding. She wanted it to be this huge event, think venue with chandeliers, a live band, a custom dress, the works. I'd hear her on the phone with vendors, tossing out numbers like she was made of money. I didn't think much of it at first because Robert's got a solid business, and I assumed he was footing the bill. Plus, I was busy with my own life, working as a digital marketing specialist, trying to save up, dealing with my own crap. I didn't have time to babysit her budget. Here's where it gets messy. My inheritance, about 40 grand, was sitting in a savings account my dad had set up. Mom was listed as a co-signer because I was only 18 when he opened it, and he trusted her to guide me until I was older. I never touched it because I wanted to wait for the right moment, like Dad told me. Well, about 3 months ago, I logged in to check the balance, just a random thing, I hadn't looked at it in ages, and it was gone. Like, completely wiped out. $0. I freaked out, thinking it was hacked or something, so I called the bank. They told me the money had been transferred to another account, and since Mom was a co-signer, it was all legal. I called her right away, hands shaking, and asked what the hell happened. She didn't even try to deny it. She goes, "Oh, Mary, calm down. I needed it for the wedding. Robert's covering most of it, but I wanted to add some special touches, and I knew you wouldn't mind." Wouldn't mind? I was livid. I told her that was my money, from Dad, and she had no right to touch it. She got all defensive, saying, "I'm your mother, I've sacrificed so much for you, and this is my chance to be happy. You're young, you'll make more money." I couldn't believe it. She acted like it was no big deal, like she'd just borrowed $20 for gas. I hung up and sat there fuming. That money wasn't just cash, it was the last thing Dad left me, a piece of him. And she took it for what? A 3-tiered cake and some fancy lighting. I didn't talk to her for a week after that, trying to cool off, but then the guilt trip started. She'd text me stuff like, "I can't believe you're mad about this, after everything I've done for you," or "Robert thinks you're being selfish." Selfish? Me? I was so mad I could have screamed. Now, here's where another problem comes in. My boyfriend, John, he's 29, works in IT, super chill guy, got dragged into this too. We've been together for 2 years, and he's met my mom a bunch of times. He's always been polite to her, even when she's over the top, but after this money thing, he lost it. He told me, "Mary, your mom's out of line. That's your future she stole." I agreed, but then Mom started calling him to complain about me. She'd say stuff like, "John, talk some sense into her, she's ruining my wedding over this." He'd hang up and tell me, I'm not her therapist, but it put him in a weird spot. He doesn't want to be the bad guy, but he's pissed at her too. On top of that, there's my cousin Patricia. She's 32, super close to Mom, and she's been acting like Mom's personal cheerleader through all this. Patricia's the type who's always got an opinion, loud, bossy, thinks she knows best. She called me up after Mom told her what happened and went off, "Mary, you're making a big deal out of nothing. Aunt, Mom, deserves this wedding, she's been through so much. Why can't you just let it go?" I tried explaining that it's not about the wedding, it's about the money being mine, but she wouldn't hear it. She even said, "You're acting like a spoiled brat," which stung because Patricia and I used to be tight growing up. Now she's picking Mom's side, and it feels like I'm losing her too. The wedding's in 2 weeks, and I'm stuck. Mom's been posting all over social media about how perfect everything's coming together, and I know my money's part of that. She invited me, of course, and keeps saying, "It won't be the same without you there," like I'm supposed to just smile and pretend nothing's wrong. John thinks I should skip it, he says going would be like letting her win. Patricia, meanwhile, texted me yesterday saying if I don't show up, I'm breaking the family apart. I feel like I'm being pulled in 10 directions. There's more to it, too. I've been digging into what she spent the money on, because 40 grand is a lot for special touches. I got my hands on some receipts, don't ask how, let's just say I'm resourceful, and it's ridiculous. A designer dress that cost 8 grand, a venue deposit that was way more than Robert could have covered alone, even a freaking ice sculpture. An ice sculpture? Who needs that? I confronted her again last week, showed her the receipts, and she just shrugged. It's my day, Mary. You'll understand when you get married. I wanted to throw something. She doesn't even see what she did as wrong. I've been replaying it all in my head, wondering if I'm overreacting. Like, yeah, it's a lot of money, but she's my mom. She raised me, put a roof over my head, dealt with me as a moody teenager. Maybe I owe her something, right? But then I think about Dad, how hard he worked, how he wanted that money to be mine, and I get mad all over again. John keeps saying I need to stand up for myself, but every time I try, Mom turns it around and makes me feel like the bad guy. Patricia's no help, she's too busy kissing Mom's ass to care. I've even started second-guessing my own plans. That money was supposed to help me and John maybe buy a place together someday. We're not engaged or anything, but we've talked about it, and now that's on hold because I've got nothing left. I haven't told him how much that bothers me, he's already stressed enough with work, but it's eating at me. I feel like Mom didn't just take the money, she took a piece of my future too. The other day, I drove by the house I grew up in, it's where Mom still lives with Robert now. I sat in my car, looking at the porch where Dad used to sit with me and talk about life, and I just cried. It's not even about the money anymore, you know. It's about how she didn't even ask, how she doesn't care what it meant to me. I keep picturing her walking down the aisle in that stupid expensive dress, smiling like she's won the lottery, while I'm sitting there broke and bitter. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know if I should go to the wedding and fake it, or skip it and deal with the fallout. Mom's acting like everything's fine now, sending me pics of flower arrangements like I'm supposed to ooh and ah. Patricia's still on her high horse, and John's ready to back whatever I decide, but I can tell he's fed up with the drama. I've been lurking on Reddit lately, reading other people's stories, and it made me think, maybe you guys can help me figure this out. Am I the one screwing up here? Am I being unreasonable for holding on to this? I just want some outside perspective before I lose my mind.
Appreciate you watching. Give it a like, hit subscribe, and catch more drama next time.